Sorry, microphone off. Sorry, I turned the mic off. Anyhow, I just greeted everybody, so hello. Guys, it's been a day of strong emotions. We have been fighting with our internet. And Sir Clive of Newland Railway just came in. So I just greeted all the knights of the rhomboid table. That's all I had done so far. My apologies. I forgot I turned the mic off. And because I'm using StreamYard, we got all kinds of stupid issues that I'm fighting with. Unfortunately, the problem is our internet provider. Verizon Internet, I think our box has basically died. And we tried going online and working it out with them, and they don't know what, they can't solve the problem online. But I think our box has died, whether it overheated, because it is, it's placed in a window that gets a lot of sunlight, and maybe just all the heat has been messing with it. But we don't have a better place to put it. There's reasons where it's at, and we can't move it into another room. It would involve, to move it anywhere else, I'd have to rip out part of the ceiling and run a bunch of wiring in different places. It's just a pain in the butt. But yeah. And then the other issue, of course, I've been fighting a cold for 2 weeks, and I'm basically over it, but I'm still kind of nasally and still a little congested. It just won't go away. I just cannot 100% beat it. And I've done all the testing. It's not the dreaded plague lurgy that has been around for 5 years. It's just some sort of really nasty cold, and my system just is not fighting off these colds and flus like it used to. And it's more than just being retired and not being exposed to things. But yeah, I'm getting colds that are lasting 2 weeks that would normally last 12 hours. I'm not running the BR11 today. I already have my trains chosen, but we'll see what happens in the following weeks. So anyhow, I came downstairs this morning to finish setting up for the live stream, and the cats had trashed my layout. They had just gone crazy. Buildings knocked over. They had hopped up and gotten into the, I don't know if they had hopped up on the table and decided to play chase, but they wiped out my high-speed trains over on the far side over there. They had knocked them all over and twisted and mangled. I'm still livid about it, but the problem with the cats is solved. They're gone. The cats are gone. They do not live in this house anymore. They were escorted out earlier today, and I will not have another cat, or preferably not even a dog again. I'm done with pets. Yeah, the cats were finally shown the door today. It's been, I am just absolutely livid. I did some quick testing. It seems like they're all right, but until I actually can get them to run laps. Hey, there's Sir John of Mystic Railroad. We've had these cats for almost 5 years. They were feral rescues. And I'll say this, if cats have been feral for more than a few months, they're not worth trying to adopt, because especially if you have a bonded pair like sisters or brothers, they are so used to feral and living together that they grow to hate and dislike humans. These cats lived in this house for 4 years and never warmed up to the humans. They stayed away from us. You walk in a room and they'd run out of the room. And we've always done rescue pets. And if we ever get pets again, they'll be rescue pets. But I'm done with cats. I just can't deal with them getting into everything, especially these cats that refuse to use the cat boxes. They destroyed hundreds and hundreds of dollars in rugs and carpet. The one pukes everywhere. The one peed on everything. And I have never disliked to animals the way these two cats have been. And that's not counting how many times they got up on the layout. Well, this time it was too far. They did so much damage. I was just Joyce has been, on boat with getting rid of them, is just trying which way. So now they're outdoor cats and hopefully far away outdoors. Hey, Sir Aaronville, thanks for joining us. So yeah, we had cats in the past, and we had a cat for 20 years. We had Sabina, and Sabina was a great cat, but these two were just bad from day one. They were just bad from day one. And 4 years living in the house and us doing everything, talking to the vets, talking to animal psychiatrists about what can we do. And we did all the tricks. I can't tell you how many books and pages Joyce and I have read and gone over and over trying to work with these cats, and they just would not work with us. They just would not give us an inch. And we finally had to block them from coming in the living room because we're on our third or fourth set of carpets in the living room, rugs in the living room, because they have destroyed everyone. Yeah, if you catch them early enough, they're fine. But these had been feral for 2 years. And, I think they were born feral, rescued, and then the owner died and they went feral again for 2 years or whatever. And then were grabbed off the streets. And we stupidly bought them. I mean, I don't want to be too negative. I don't like the fact that I've had to make this decision, but their medical bills were expensive enough. I can't afford to replace $500, $700, $800, $900 trains to appease the pet needs of the family. No, I'm back from holiday. Actually, Aaron, I am retired, so I'm always on holiday. But so yeah, that was the negative. I hate to start with a negative, and I'm sure some animal activists, which Joyce and I would consider ourselves to be, probably aren't happy with us right now. But too bad. It was. They've cost us thousands and thousands of dollars in 4 years, and enough's enough. And trust us, we've tried to send them back to the shelter. The shelter won't take them back. We've tried to give them to other shelters. They won't take them. We have tried to offer them as farm cats to people. And we have tried for over a year to find a nice way to move them on, but it didn't work. So yeah, on more positive news, I did get 2 more of the Danish cars, so I'm quite happy with these. I got the bike wagon, the bike coach, and then another passenger car. They're not lit. I got to figure out a way to light them up so that they will work with the other Danish cars. But the Danish cars have run 2 weeks in a row, so I'm not going to run them a third week in a row. And then I will go ahead and let's go to the trains I'm running today. You will see, I was supposed to get 2 more today, but things got delayed in the mail, so I probably won't see them until tomorrow or Monday. Finally making an appearance on the live stream. It's been 2 months since I got it. This is the one, Dan, that you helped me find. Or Brian, I mean. I keep saying Dan because I had a friend, Dan Clinton. Brian, you helped me find these. And anyhow, so the Nightjet locomotive is finally running on the layout. And I'm going to change a couple of things here because I'm not able to follow the chat the way I'm set up right now. So I'm just going to put this up here, and there. Now I can follow the chat. There we go. Okay, all caught up. Okay. So, yeah, so the Nightjet locomotive, and I got 2 Nightjet cars that came in last weekend, and 2 more were supposed to come in today, but they're stuck in U.S. mail because of all the bad weather down south. So can't complain, So anyhow, what we're running today, and by the way, I post the trains I'm going to be running. I set everything up on Wednesday, and when I post it, if you read the description section, I always post what trains I'm running. I am running the BR218 in the AW Cottbus livery with a set of German Deutsche Bahn IC intercity wagons. And then making his first appearance in a while is the Austrian Railjet. So we'll get that one going and hopefully runs nice and smooth. It's been a 7-8 weeks since it's run. Line 3 has the Nightjet with 2 Nightjet cars and 4 Austrian regular cars. That's not actually an odd creation. You will see Nightjet cars running with Swiss passenger coaches or Austrian passenger coaches. So this is not typical, but it's not a novelty either. There'd just be more Nightjet cars on it, but I only have the 2. But I'm tired of waiting, so the Nightjet finally gets to run on the layout today. Whoops! Except he left some of his buddies behind here. I thought those were all connected better. Ding. Let's see if they're connected now. Are you all connected? All right, let's see if this will work a little bit. Whoops, other way, other way. I did not test run this in. I did not test run the Nightjet in. It was a last-second decision to run it. So everybody else has had a test loop. This guy's only had, well, he's had 1 test loop. But I did not catch they separated. Okay, we are running, my 1 freighter today is a bunch of flatbeds with a 218. This is a Roco model. I've got car carriers. I've got the rolling roads, but yeah, this guy has a built-in from Roco. It's got a built-in slow speed increase. I could turn it off, but once he gets going, it's fine. And then I got to find the right one here. There we go. All right, I've got an Alex train to run. And then way in the back, I'm running a Class 648 diesel Regio. And that's everybody. So, hello, Sir Raymond of Legs and Sir Andy Dobson. I want to thank all of you that have already watched my half-an-hour video I posted today. Joyce and I visited a train museum in Denmark. It was actually a month ago already. That's so weird. That was a month ago. The Jersland Regional Railway Museum. Now, you were running just fine 5 minutes ago there, dude. Pick it up. So, yeah, it was a very cool place. I don't know if Jean Ricard planned it or if it just came to him as he was driving up, but he decided to get us on one of these rail bikes, which they ride to check the track or to get to a job site further on. Germany has changed so much since I left. No, it hasn't. You forget. I've been to Germany 20 times in the last 25, 26 years. You're in Germany for the first time, maybe ever. And remember the floor trains. Yes, I got to remember the floor trains. So running on the floor, we're going to have, whoops, darn it. We're running the 2 classic steamers. We're going to run the Mallard. And we got to run the Duchess of Sutherland, who always needs a little bit of a kickstart. Well, hello, Sir Daz. Welcome in. Their English is improving. Actually, most Germans who speak English better than most English speakers, but that's a different story. Well, hello, Sir Chris from Go Via Go Home. Welcome in. Welcome in. I'm just using StreamYard right now until we can get our internet fixed. Because when I go straight from OBS, OBS sends all the information, including 4K cameras. So it sends a lot of information. It sends anywhere from 6.5 to 8 Mbps up when I'm doing a live stream. And right now, my live stream, our house internet is only doing about 2 up. We're supposed to have 100 up, but it's doing about 2 up. So the nice thing is StreamYard condenses everything. It's the only reason to use StreamYard is to condense. So if you want to use OBS and do what I do, which is then run OBS into StreamYard, it condenses all my OBS information and makes it a slightly better broadcast. And I don't get the buffering that I would get if I tried to use OBS straight to YouTube, which is what I had a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, it's I think our in the house wireless signal box, it picks up the Verizon 5G network signal and converts it into a Wi-Fi signal. And I think that has got a problem in it because we've had to reboot the internet a ton since we've been home from Germany. We're constantly having to unplug it and plug it back in to reboot the box and get the box to work again. And when it is working, our download speeds are really bad. Like something that normally takes me 5 seconds to download is taking a minute. And something that normally takes me 15 minutes to upload is taking 4 to 5 hours. So things have gone, yeah, our internet, which is why I had problems a few weeks ago and I've been using StreamYard the last 3 weeks. So they're going to contact us tonight after my live stream and either just bring out a new box or they're going to send a tech out whenever the tech can come in, because that's the problem with Verizon. I'm tempted to go back to our old internet provider, but the problem is in our neighborhood, the most you can get is 10 up. I mean, we should be a minimum of 20. And most places I know in Europe, everybody's at least 100 up. We have landline internet. We just canceled it. Our internet and cable bill on top of our phone bill was so expensive. And our local provider, whom my daughter works for and Joyce's brother-in-law is an executive for, they are excellent customer service and excellent service, but they're expensive. They're a local company and they're expensive. And so between internet, cell phone, landline and cable, because we had cable TV, we were paying two different companies about $800 a month for all of that. And Verizon said, oh, we got internet and you can drop the landline and we'll do it all for, with your phones included, for $500 a month. So we got all our cell phones and our internet and blah, blah, blah for almost half of what we used to pay. So, so it just, and for the first several months we were on the new company, Verizon, everything was great. My live streams were better than ever. No issues anywhere. There goes that Nightjet. Man, that's pretty. I might try to slow it down just a bit so it shows up in the cameras, but you'll see it coming back around in the background. Lower video feed. What are the radius for the loops? Well, I would have to go back and convert that. Let me look it up real quick. Yeah. Come on. So now I have to do my conversion. Five is. So I have three different radius, and I have to use the European nomenclature. For example, the best way to do it is here on camera 11. So, or camera 6, but it's the 11-lane view. So this one is radius 5, which is about 26 inches. These two are radius 4, which is about 23, 24 inches. And these two are radius 3, which is about 21 inches, 20 to 21 inches. And then radius 2 on the parking area, which is 18 inches. So it's 18 to about 26 inches. Yeah, well, that's just it. We decided to get rid of cable because we weren't watching a lot of cable TV, EFO. We used to watch TV all the time, but now it's YouTube. We watch YouTube. But part of our Verizon internet package gave us what's called the Disney bundle, which is Disney, Hulu, and ESPN Plus. And then we get a big discount on YouTube TV, which gives us all our local TV channels, plus the channels we were watching on. And so, like I said, with all our subscription TV or internet services, you know, Peacock, Paramount, Netflix, we're still paying about $400 a month less than we were when we had phone, cable, internet, blah, blah, blah. So overall, when we first did it last year, it seemed like a great deal. But in the last 6 weeks, our internet has been struggling. And again, I'm pretty sure our box has got a problem, whether it overheated while we were in Germany, and was in the sun too much and my daughter didn't move it, which, again, that's not blaming her. She wouldn't think to go in and move it. Yeah, it's a little weird. Uh-oh. No, I did not catch it. Uh-oh. Oh, this is not going to be my day. Come on, Roco. Why are you not working with me? I need to change couplers. I'm sorry if somebody told me that happened. I'm sorry I missed it, but oh, these crappy ass couplers. Just fucking. Yeah, I knew I should have replaced those couplers. All right, let's see if that works. I'm just going to take the OBS cars off because they got these. I don't know why. They're just really crappy couplers. The new Roco and Fleischmann HO couplers just are not as good as they used to be. I'm having more problems with them. Well, hello, Corey. Sir Corey, welcome in. But I'll change out those couplers and no, I don't want to do that. And just put these guys away. I'm tired of fighting with things right now. It's been a very long, annoying day, and I'm on the same camera all day, so let's change some camera views. Yeah, I've done that one. Let's do that one. Yeah, I've got plenty of different locomotives to pull the my Austrian stuff. I just really wanted to run my Nightjet. I've had it for 2 months, and I have never run it on the live stream. So I was trying to come up with something to run it, but apparently the couplers between these new plastic Roco couplers and the Märklin Telex couplers that I have on my, they're not talking nicely to each other. Oh, I usually close them manually, but the problem is, uh-oh. Oh my God, I just need to end this live stream and call it a day. Why on earth did you go through that point? No, you are not going through that point. Oh, I need to replace that point. Are you okay? Well, after everything going smoothly last week, yeah, the Railjet just Randomly went through a point that was closed. It just opened the point. Hey, CMD. Yeah, I'm just going to have to take that point out and redo it, which means I'll have to redo the grass too. It's a double slip. I shouldn't have called it a point, but a double slip. Yeah, I normally do, EFO. I normally have matching couplers. I might have the Fleischmann Profi couplers between a bunch of cars, but then to hook them up to the Loco or something else, I will... I always try to match couplers when I can. But these Nightjet cars came in and they're Roco, and the cars I'm attaching them to are Roco, and they have the Roco couplings, but there's a subtle difference between them. And so I'll probably just replace them all with the Märklin Relics couplers. But yeah, so I've got trains just deciding, you know what, I'm going to go through this. I'm just going to go through this point randomly. But that point's been a little bit of tricky. EFO, I keep arguing this with you. Don't tell me it's a Basler Kreuzkupplung. Argue it with Märklin, because that's what they call it. They call it a double slip. Märklin calls it a double slip, so I call it a double slip. Right, Märklin, an angry letter about it. Hey, there's Sir Dirk from Southern Cross Rail System. I saw you earlier and didn't say hello because you weren't on my name list, but hello. And did I see Owen Concord was here? All right, take care. Yeah, it's been a grumpy day, so my temperament is not in the best. All right, take care, Steve. Thanks for joining in. Always appreciate the people who come by. But, you know, I've had 3 straight weeks where everything ran smoothly, so I might as well get things to balance out in the grand scheme of karma, I guess. Not that I believe in karma, but hey, it happens. Oh, and Andre, I have so many different couplers, so many different types of couplers. 3 different types from Märklin, 3 different types from Roco, Piko's version, and then various imitations. And the worst are the ones from ESU rolling stock. Hey, man, how are you? Mark, I already know they're not ground with grit. This one's been acting up for a while, and it's a mechanical issue. These are very delicate pieces. They're very delicate, these Märklin Basler double slips, double crosses. They're very, very fragile. You'd have to go watch the video I did with them. And literally, they can actually slowly bounce open from the vibration of the trains. They can actually do that. As the trains go over and over them, they'll slowly vibrate open, even though they're supposed to lock into place when they close. But the mechanisms that lock them they need slightly stronger ones. I think Märklin could use a upgrade in how they build these in their C-track. But anyhow, hello, Mark. Let's go to the multi-view. You're sick with the winter cold. My sympathies, because I am so much better than I was last week and definitely the week before. But I am still fighting the little post-cold effects. I still am a bit congested. Now, mind you, I stopped taking medicine 2 days ago because I felt like I was healthy enough, and I don't like taking meds unless I absolutely have to. But yeah, the Nightjet cars came with the Fleischmann Profi, those forks, which are in some ways very cool, but over time those forks bend, they warp, and then they don't close tightly anymore. And I left those together in the middle of the two cars, and then I put the Roco standard, the things that look kind of like the Märklin telex couplers. I put those on, and camera 10 needed information. Yeah, the decoder work for the slips and the turnouts work great. Now, Eric, and hello, Sir Eric and Sir Willie. There are 3 different German channels I follow where they did the decoder works for the locomotives, and they all blew. These guys are like, do not buy decoders. Do not buy them for the locomotives. And I'm like, oh, the 3 I bought are working fine. But I think during installation, maybe that one of my double slips has the swing arm is broken. It's not the little piece that goes up into it that holds it and moves it, that really fine piece of wiring. I think that is messed up a bit. The Radius camera 10. Well, camera 10 is the floor cam. So those are a Radius 3, Märklin Radius 3, which again is about 20 inches, and then Radius 2, which is 18 inches. So yeah, camera 10 is the trains on the floor. So when you look at, for example, my Village, when you look at Village view like this one, those are Märklin Radius 5, which is the widest radius Märklin makes. And then the next 2, so the outside is the widest, and that's why it looks a little wider in here. It looks a little wider here to here than here to here, because this is Radius 5, and these 2 are Radius 4. So these are tighter radius, so it gives it a wider gap here. So the outer lane is Radius 5, and you can see the same thing on the other far side there. So that's Radius 5, and I can do this. I forgot I have it up, so bingo. Let me bring in the one I want to bring in. There it is. So there's the Märklin radius. So radius 1 is 360 centimeters, which is about 15 inches. So it's like 15, 18, 21, 24, 26. Or 21, 23, 25. Hey, Sir Lee. I'm sorry I didn't say hi. Yeah, the problem is the locomotive. Actually, what I use is a Märklin, a standard Märklin, not the close coupler. I use a standard because some of the cars, the buffers, even on radius 3, they'll rub. So I use the slightly bigger, the Märklin Relics couplers, Telex couplers, and to connect any stock, unless it's if it's different companies. Like I'll use Märklin close couplers for Märklin to Märklin locomotives. But if it's a Märklin locomotive and Roco or Piko, I use the Märklin Relics couplers just to give a little bit more of a gap. I have certain cars that just do not like it if I use Märklin close couplers, even on radius 4 curves. I just got a couple things. But that's the system. So if you know your conversions, and I tend to know my conversions. I've had to teach metric. Joyce has to teach metric in all her science classes. So Joyce and I are very good at metric to imperial conversions, temperature, weights, lengths. But when it comes to the track algorithms here, the track dynamics, I don't have it memorized, but it's basically 15, 18, 21, and then 23 and 25 inches. So now I forget which company, maybe Raymond or Evo or Jean would remember. Somebody has now released radius 6. Märklin said they're going to release a radius 6, but they have not released it yet. But anyhow, so that's the algorithm. So your radius is 360 millimeters, and then it's an additional 77, which is about 3 inches. 77.5 is about 3 inches because it's 2.54 centimeters per inch. So 7.75 centimeters is roughly 3 more inches. So 15, 18, 21, and then like 23 and 25. 23 and a half and 25 and a half. I think that's roughly how it works. And I do not use radius 1. Most Märklin startup sets come with radius 1 because radius 1 is the narrowest, and most Germans don't have a big basement like I have. Let's go back to train so you're not being bored with me yakking. But, most Germans and Europeans don't necessarily have a lot of space to run trains, so they have a very narrow, about a 15-inch radius, and that's their basic. But the majority of Märklin people I know, if you go to eBay and type in Märklin C-Track, you'll find tons of radius 1 curves for sale. Tons, because everybody, just as soon as they can, they get rid of it and go with radius 2 or radius 3. All but a select few of Märklin stock can run on radius 2 with no issues. Even their ICEs can run on radius 2. You've heard of radius 9. No, either Piko or Roco released a radius 6, and then, somebody else released radius 9. Trust me, I would do radius 9. The thing about radius 9 is that, according to the Märklin algorithms, radius 9 is the narrowest curve that exists in the reality of German rail. That if you were to take the tightest curve anywhere on the German high-speed rail system, it would equal a radius 9. So Hornby radius 1 is about 15 inches. So yeah, it's probably very similar. But like American tracks, or, you know, I say American, I hear guys that start at 15, but they're like, I've got radius, I got 31-inch radius tracks. I'm like, wow, that's nice. The 420, yeah. But the, yeah, for example, my biggest locomotive, and maybe I'll go get it. So let's go to this for a second. These are my two biggest, longest locomotives, my Blue Tiger and my Märklin Viva 320. These are my two biggest. Now, I have a couple of steamers that are maybe close to this, a little bit shorter, but that's deceptive because they have a tender, which is really a separate bit of piece. And the loco itself, with not counting the tender, isn't this big. I think even my BR01, which is probably my longest steamer, only comes to about here by itself. Well, yeah, it comes to about here by itself, here to here. So anyhow, these are my two biggest. These guys can both handle radius 3, and at slow speeds, they can handle radius 2. But those are my two biggest guys. So let me catch up with the chat here. Not comparing locomotive size, not at all. You know, and obviously, if I would have bought Märklin's big boy, that would have been the biggest model locomotive of all. And it probably, I know Märklin, I think, said with the big boy, radius 3 minimum. Your biggest is the 219. Yeah, that's true, Ifo. They're the fixed chassis. But again, even when you measure a locomotive with that fixed, those 3 wheels in the middle, I guess I would agree that that's probably the toughest. But I think every steam locomotive I have is certified for radius 2. But I don't know what I don't have the Märklin big boy, and I think they said that one. But most of them say minimum radius 360, and I think the Märklin algorithm, yeah, radius 2 is 437 on the Märklin system. You got 24. See, that's interesting because 24 is bigger than all but the biggest radius. Your red Wittenberger Kopf. And I wonder, would like little shunters have more problems because they have the tighter wheel sets? That tighter curves would be a problem for them, like the Kopfs, those little guys. But I don't have American steamers. I probably won't ever own an American steamer. Although if I saw a big boy at a price and was feeling silly, I would, you know, the Märklin big boy, and somebody was selling it used for $400. I might say sure. But that's the thing. Most Märklin models, and that's why a lot of their models are not true scale. That's why Märklin and even Piko, a lot of the stock they make is 1:100 rolling stock, so that it can run on the radius 1 curves that come in all the sets. But yeah, when I got my Austrian Railjet, it said minimum Märklin radius R2. Although it can go to R1 in a parking at slow speed in a parking situation. But yeah, my that Viba and that Blue Tiger can handle radius 2 and even radius 1. The Viba, you're not supposed to run on radius 1, but if you run it slow, like into a parking area that tends to have radius 1 curves, you can do it. Yeah, that's probably true, Jean Ricard. But again, I have yeah, you're right there, Eric. There's a lot of locos that can handle radius 1, but they look really weird because they become so unrealistically disjointed going through them. Wow, my CPU is running at 54% today. The River Rossi big boy can do first radius. That was one of the things, like when I see Lionel trains and the tight radius that Lionel models can do, how weird it was to see the bogey turning almost 90 degrees to the actual shell of the loco. And I don't see them being that drastic in real life. Well, Ifo, what is the largest one? I air blow and clean the PC at least once a month, where I vacuum it up inside and out, blow it out, and so forth. It's running heavy because it's running 18 cameras and a whole bunch of stuff. And ever since Windows 11 upgraded, because I used to do my live streams and my PC was running at 18, 20%, and now it's been running 40 to 50% during live streams. But yeah, it's probably due for a clean because I haven't cleaned it since I've been back from Germany. But this is a very, very well-designed computer. It's got an amazing fan system in it because it was designed to handle the workload and the cleaning load it needs to do. It's a custom built. It's not an off-the-shelf guy. All right, so the 45 is the biggest. Okay. Because I still am tempted to get a 44 as a freight hauler to go with my 50. I am tempted to get a 44 still. Yeah, real life track. That's what we were saying, Man, is that according to the Märklin algorithm, the narrowest, the tightest real life curve on the high speed circuit would be equal to a radius 9 if Märklin built it up to radius 9. You build all your PCs yourself. I used to, but I hate taking the time. And no matter how much, because I'm not really an IT guy, I used to always keep up with computers and what's the best cards and what are the best motherboards and blah, blah, blah. But just other things in life happen and I don't keep up with it. Most of my computers were self-built. I have bought a couple off the shelves and then custom added, but my son knows a lot more than me. But I had a guy that is a computer guy. I told him the specs and what I wanted to do with it, and we put a lot of good stuff into this supercomputer. When I was a young guy, I used to help my friend Rob Sturgill when we were in high school. His dad was a computer guy back in the 70s, okay? Before home computers were a thing, you know, pre-TRS-80 stuff. But this guy was a high-end computer software designer. He worked for a company here in Toledo called Dana, which was a big international computer design and programming system. Joyce's brother worked for Dana at one time. He was a big computer geek. But I mean, I remember when you'd have to solder in every diode and blah, blah, blah. And then you had to manually program it all. And that's back when a computer with a 50 or 100 megabyte memory was powerful. You know, your phone today has more operating power than the computers that put a rocket on the moon back in 1969. All right, Ifo is taking off for bed. All right, take care. Oh, you're on mobile data because you're traveling. That's right. So, and you would think being retired, it's like I have time. I could go back, take classes on computer tech and get caught back up. But it's like, it's not what I want to do. Well, welcome in, Sir John Train from BFGR. Welcome in, welcome in. Oh, just missed 3 passing. Are these Nightjet car scale length? I don't think so. I don't think these are the true 187 scale, although Roco normally does it, but these are not the high-end Roco cars. So I'm assuming these are either 195 or 1 to 100. The Railjet cars here, these are true scale. So I'm going to assume those Nightjet cars are not true scale. Yeah, it's amazing. My first computer had a 375 megabyte hard drive, and I had so many programs and games on it. The first home computer I bought for the family back in the very early 90s. It was an Acer, just as Acer was really becoming well-known and popular. But yeah, now all my computers have 2 terabyte hard drives, and most of my information is stored on separate disk. We are coming up, John, we are coming up for the Saturday events. We are coming up for the Saturday events, and that's it. Joyce goes back to work. So unfortunately, we really can't come up for any of the Friday events because Joyce doesn't get off. Joyce won't be home from work until 4 or 5 o'clock. I do my live stream. Even if I cut my live stream early, the earliest we get on the road is 6. It's a 3 to 4 hour drive. So we're not going to be up there till 10 o'clock at night. And if we were to go all the way up to Sparky's place, it's probably closer to 11. And then we're gonna be there for whatever events we can be on Tuesday on Saturday, including we're gonna do the dinner car train ride, and then we will I don't know if we're gonna spend a second night in the hotel and go home Sunday morning, but we need to be back Sunday because we have a family event on Sunday. And then Joyce has to work Monday morning, and she'll have a ton of work she wants to get done Sunday before she goes back into work. If it were a week earlier, we'd be there for the whole weekend. If it were a week earlier, we'd be there for the whole weekend. But we cannot attend any stuff that people do in June, and we can't attend stuff people do from middle of August on because of Joyce's work schedule and our travel schedule, because we always travel in June. Although when Joyce retires in a couple of years, we're going to start traveling in October. You use it as a Windows. See, that's where I'm jealous. I would like to still have a computer that runs Windows 98. But basically, with my friends and family, anytime I upgraded a computer, I passed on because one of my kids needed a better, my computer I was replacing was better than the computer they had. So it was just a chain hand-me-down. So I don't even know where my last tower computer is. Actually, my last tower computer is up in my bedroom, but that also operates Windows 11. Because that was my down here computer until I retired, and my retirement bonus allowed me to build my supercomputer. Be careful crossing that border into Canada. You're going to bed. Hey, it's only 10 o'clock there, but you're getting up early, are you? Yeah, I think I avoided ME. And to be honest, I like Windows 95, Windows 98, and it's a hassle. But to me, Windows 8, 9, 10, 11, they're all just 12 variations of a common theme. But it'll be tomorrow night for you, but it'll be afternoon for us, Artie. Take care, Artie. Well, we got back from Germany. They let us back in from Germany, so we should be all right. Hey, to be honest, if my country wants to block me at the border and tell me I can't come back, I'll apply for refugee status in Canada and then bring my family into Canada. Yeah, my daughter hates, I've got a daughter that's really into computers. She hates every new update. When we switched from 98 to, was it Vista? She hated that. And then Vista to 7, she hated that. 7 to 8, she hated that. 8 to 9, she hated that. 9 to, well, I don't even think we did 9. 10 to 11 or 8 to 10, she hated that. 10 to 11, she hated that. And yet I just go and flip a few buttons and my Windows 11 looks exactly like my Windows 10 and Windows 9, Windows 8, all the way back. It's just I have games. I have games that stopped working after Windows 98. And I really miss them. Yeah, there you go, Sir Tom. And welcome in, Sir Tom. Yeah. It's an excuse to add a whole bunch of crap. The biggest changes are the nags. All the built-in ads like, hey, try our new back it up system. Hey, try our new back it up system. No. Hey, try this. You should be doing this and you should be doing this. No. And some of the older, like the old Windows photo editing software that they no longer acknowledge, it was still better than anything they do in Windows Pictures or whatever they call it now, their photo editing. You're thinking of getting Commodore 64. There's somebody is re-releasing them. There are companies re-releasing the old Commodores. That was my first computer. My parents bought it for me as a high school graduation present. It was a Commodore 64. Proved to be absolutely useless other than as a word processor. They had a friend who had a friend that got it for them really cheap, which is the only reason they bought it for me. I said I needed a computer and was expecting, something a little better. What they're really saying is, hey, try Linux. Yeah, you're right, Brian. See, my thing is I grew up, I was an academic, but I was not tech. Okay. My father was an electrician, but he didn't work as an electrician. He worked in a factory as a maintenance supervisor, which meant my dad was a jack of all trades. He could plumb, he could weld, and he was very good at everything. I mean, there are 3 houses in Toledo my father and his brother built from concrete floor up that people still live in to this day, but my dad and his brother built them together from scratch. Poured and had the concrete foundation poured, or they dug it out and put in the concrete footings for a basement. Cinder block wall or concrete footings. And then every 2x4, every 2x6, every piece of plumbing, wiring, everything was done. And my dad was one of those guys that was, whatever code was, he went way over code. I once asked my dad, why do you always when he was teaching me stuff, he would always say, this is code, but this is what I do. And I'd always ask him, why don't you do code? He says, because code is the minimum. If they could let you do less, they would do less. It's the least you can do. And if you're going to build something and use it, don't do the least you can do. Do the most you can do. And so I kind of have that attitude when I'm working on what I build. I won't touch gas plumbing, and you got to be certified to do it anyhow. But even then, I won't do heavy plumbing. But I basically have rebuilt this entire house from the walls in. But, you know, my dad was he was a low-end factory worker. And, you know, when factories shut down, he was out of a job. And then he quit a job because he got offered to go somewhere else and take big money. And, yeah, we had like a 7-month, 8-month period where my dad was actually making good money for the first time in our life. And then he went to work on a Monday and the factory was shut down. Nobody got warning. They just walked in, locks on the gates, big pink sign saying everybody's laid off. And my dad did some underground work for a while. So I was an academic, but everybody in my family was construction-based people or automotive-based people or truckers. And so we weren't exposed to computers. We weren't exposed to a lot of the stuff that a lot of other kids, when I got to high school and I went to a Jesuit high school, all the rich kids were building their own computers and their dads worked in the computer businesses in the late 70s, early 80s. And, you know, they were gurus. And so I had a friend, Rob Sturgill, that worked on computers and as a hobby. And that was my first exposure. Heck, I'd never even had a Radio Shack build your own radio transistor kit. I learned from my dad how to repair toys because he was too poor to buy replacements. So you had to learn how to fix things. Your electric football stopped working. We're going to tear the motor apart and fix it. Your bike broke. You're going to learn how to put this piece of metal on and weld it. When I got a car, my dad made me buy a junker for, it was $50 off a neighbor. I hated it. There was a Dodge Challenger I wanted to buy. My dad made me buy this crappy 1968 Ford Gran Torino Talladega, which is basically the same thing as a fastback Mustang. And basically, I owned it for 3 years. And I had to replace everything on it. My dad's point was, you're going to learn how to replace everything on a car so you don't pay a mechanic who will rip you off. So I always had to fix my own cars. Oh, I miss Radio Shack. Vibranium. Adamantium and vibranium. So, I mean, that always just plays into, you know, I call it the outsider. Always been an outsider. I grew up in neighborhoods where most kids were thugs and punks, and I had to take a lot of grief for not joining the gangs. And I was an academic and was always top kid in school. And in my household, that was a bit of a problem because my dad wanted me to be two things. He wanted me to be a professional football player and then become a lawyer. And when I showed the academic knack to be a lawyer, but then elected to do other things, my dad was not a happy man. But my dad was never a happy man. Oh, you got your Vista running as a music PC. But like with OBS, when I got started with OBS, I didn't know a damn thing about OBS. My son and son-in-law came in and showed me how it worked. And it still can do 1,000 more things than I have it do. But I'm at a point where this is what I want it to do, and I don't need to go further. Which is kind of how I am with a lot of things. Once it's doing what I'm happy with, I don't feel the need to push it. Let's go to the floor view. Let's see how the guys down below are doing. But I haven't run these two steamers on the floor for a while, so I thought we'd get out a couple of the British classics. Well, heck, yeah, no more Circuit City, but Best Buy, when it came out, yes, it sold electronics, but you could go into departments and talk to guys about cable and wiring and blah, 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 and they knew their stuff. And now you go into Best Buy and you're like, I'd like to look at this. And like, well, we have it online. I was like, well, I could have bought it online. I wanted it today, so I came to the store. Well, we only have the one model on display here. And my attitude is, don't advertise it if you don't have it in store. You know, set up a totally separate world for online. But yes, you can go online and say, we have this in store now. But yeah, my son has me shop at, what is it, Newegg, when I need computer stuff. My son is a big fan of Newegg. My son builds his own computers. He just buys all the, he looks at what motherboard he wants, what memory, what processor, depending on what he wants to do, blah, blah, blah. My son's got this massive computer set up. He's got like 5 monitors set up as a giant window thing going on. Well, they're all falling hard because of Walmart and online. Everybody's falling hard because, you know, you got people. I'm going to get my soapbox here. You got people who buy cars online. I don't want to insult anybody, but don't buy cars online. If you don't go out, kick the tires, start it up, drive it around a few miles and get a feel for it, don't buy it. Yeah, I bought this. I hear it's a really good car. Did you go out and drive it for yourself? Go to a dealer. Even if you're going to buy it from somebody online, go to a dealership and test drive that model. Well, and if it's an old used car, definitely don't buy it online unless you're buying some classic that you're planning on rebuilding yourself anyhow. Because having said that, I sold my Charger online. My 73 Charger, when I had to sell it, I sold it online. And some shop, you know, classic car shop in Chicago bought it. And they paid me good money for it. Plus, they paid the shipping. So they just said, our truck will be there Thursday morning. But since your street is a narrow street, we'd like you to come to this parking lot. Okay, I drove my Charger there. They pulled it up on their transport truck and drove off with it. All right, James Dundas, thanks for hanging out with us. The firm you work for sells cars online. See, no matter what I preach against, there's somebody in the chat who's going to go, hey, wait a minute. I'm sorry, you don't buy cars online. If you don't go out and test drive, and to be honest, only buy a car you test driven. Don't test drive one and then buy that one over there. Test driving, if you like that one, buy that one. Now, having said that, when we bought our Dodge Dart that my son now owns, we test drove Darts, decided we liked them, and then bought an upgraded version of the one we were going to buy because they didn't have the one we wanted to buy it, but they said, well, we got this one right here that's all pimped out. And then we just drove it around real quick and said, yep, we like it. A lot of horsepower in that little 4-cylinder, yeah. A lot of power in that little 4-cylinder car. And it got 40 plus miles to the gallon on the highway. That was an awesome car. Joyce and I loved it, and we'd probably still own it, but we just decided she wanted a car that had a little bit more room in the back seat because I'm 6'4", my son is 6'2", my daughters are 5'11", and even though there was a lot of room, because even though it was a compact car, it had more space than most mid-sized seating space cars. My kids would get in the back, like my son would sit behind me, and his knees had to be spread pretty far. But we are a tall family. Joyce is the shortest at 5'7", 5'8". Yeah, and of course that's the UK, and I don't know the car buying world in the UK. And I'm predominantly a used car buyer anyhow. I go to buy used cars. I don't buy new. The Dart was the first new car I ever bought, where it was the first year it was out and it was brand new. No miles on it except the test drive miles I put on it. Well, welcome, Leo. Welcome in. Leo, limited engage. That sounds cool. Well, let's knight you, sir, because this is apparently your first time coming in the chat. Leo, you are now knighted. I now declare you a knight of the Rhomboid table. You are now a knight of the Rhomboid table. You can post a link to your channel if you want to have folks here come and check your channel out. We got a lot of Engage fans here. I currently run HO with some 00 on the floor. My upper layout is Germany, but I run all kinds of European trains. And because of Brexit, my UK trains have to be on the floor down below. Nope. I've had one new car. Otherwise, I always buy used. Save money in a lot of ways. And the funny thing is, Joyce and I don't put the miles on cars. Joyce and I have two cars. We've got our 2014 Dodge Charger and a 2019 Dodge Durango we just bought a few months ago, about a year ago now. Well, we bought our Charger. It had 29,000 miles on it, and I still don't think I don't think we've broken 50,000 miles yet. Very new to the hobby. Well, I was very new to the hobby a few years ago, but I still feel like I'm new to the hobby because I never did trains until I was 52 years old. I never did model trains until I was 52. Now I'm 60. And I still don't know much. I buy trains, I stick them on my track, and if they run, I'm happy, and if they don't run, I send them back. Raymond, you forgot they sold new cars. They're usually the last owner before the scrapyard. I have retired a few cars. I will say that, Tom. But that was the thing. I didn't mind buying old beat up cars because I could fix them up and do it. But now, like if my Charger died, my current Charger, I wouldn't know where to begin because it is so computerized. And if you touch this, you have to go and pay $300 to get the system rebooted. The cars today are designed that you really can't fix them yourselves, even to change the oil. I can't even reach the oil filter at home. I have to take it and get the oil changed at the dealership or at one of those quickie oil change places because I cannot, even if I jack the car up, in my garage, I cannot get up in there and reach the oil filter. It's even the simplest things you can no longer do. Oh, first van to die before 300,000 miles. I've never put that many miles on a car because there comes a point. I mean, the most miles I had a 79 Dodge van that I got to 200,000 miles with. When I bought it, it had like 140,000. And we got to about 190,000 on it, I think, when I buried it, because it was either him or me. I'd be doing 70 on the highway and it would just die. Just randomly out of the blue, just die. Even took it to shops when I couldn't figure out why it was doing it. Was it the carburetor? Was it a manifold issue? Was it something else? Was it an ignition? But it would just randomly just go. And it tried to kill me a couple of times on the highway. And I said, that's it. It's going. Yeah, I never bought cars from the scrapyard, but I used to repair cars with stuff I went to the scrapyard. We had a place in Toledo called Spuds. Spuds, $5, because they would answer the phone that way, because people would call and say, hey, do you have a such and such? Yeah, how much is it? $5. If you come and take it off yourself. $50 if we take it off for you. So you'd go out there and like, okay, I need a diverter valve for a 85 Dodge Caravan. Okay. And they would have an 85 Dodge Caravan, and you just had to know where the diverter valve was and what you had to take off to get to it. Take it all off. Any parts you took off that you didn't want to put back on, you had to put in the back of the car. And, okay, so I laid on a muddy ground in February, cold, muddy ground. My daughter, my 6-year-old daughter there, Dad, I'm cold. All right, I'm working. You think you're cold? I can't even wear gloves right now. I'm taking this diverter valve to get it on so I can take it and put it on my car. Oh, wow. And you got a few questions when you took it in and only 19 miles on it. Well, that was the thing. Joyce and I put a lot more miles on the car when we were younger and our jobs were away from us. But for the last 20 years, since 2022, one of us has walked to work. Because I got transferred to a building that was a 4-minute walk outside my door. And then the year they moved my building up the road, Joyce got transferred into that building, which became a different school. And so, one of us walks. We don't have to drive. Like for years, I had to drive 10, 15 miles across town there and back to get to where I work because it was way on one side of town and I live on the other end of town. And then all of a sudden I'm walking to work. And we don't go on the big, long drives anymore. I mean, when we were young, we took the kids out west. We'd go up to northern Michigan all the time. We'd do 500, 600 miles. But now that we travel overseas instead of in the United States, we don't drive those long distances. This trip up to Sparky's get together on Saturday for us, not this coming Saturday, but in August, we're going up on a Saturday. That'll be the longest car drive I've done. The longest car drive I do now is to go down to Columbus to visit my son. 85 Grand Marquis. My father-in-law bought an 85 Grand Marquis in 88, 89. It had been sitting on a lot for 3 years untouched. And I warned him about that. I said, that's been sitting on a lot undriven other than they go out and start it, but they probably haven't done anything with it. It's just sitting there. And he had problems with that car from the word go. And he finally traded it in and got something else. But if you haven't figured out from my name, I only drive Dodges. My father, just because he was a bit of a rebel, never drove Dodge until I guilted him into it. But I won't drive anything but a Dodge. Yep. Yeah, and I could go on a rampage, Leo Limited, about what Chrysler did to Dodge. Actually, what Fiat did to Dodge, but it was with Chrysler's push. See, Chrysler makes no money. Although they're making money now because they took the Dodge Caravan. Dodge invented the minivan. Now, we can argue about the VW vans back in the 70s or 60s and so forth, but the modern concept of a minivan, Dodge engineers designed it and created it. And if you go to Wikipedia, Wikipedia currently says it was invented by Chrysler. No, it wasn't. It was invented by Dodge. It came out as the minivan for Dodge, and then the next year Chrysler released it as the Town and Country. But it was the Dodge Caravan. Dodge engineers designed it and built it and started that whole craze. And then about 4 or 5 years ago, Chrysler, who was just dying, nothing with the Chrysler name was selling except their versions of the minivan. Chrysler just took the Dodge name off of it, and now all the minivans are made through Chrysler. And that's the only thing keeping Chrysler afloat. Dodge makes money. The Chargers sell, the Challengers and the Hellcats sell. Jeep makes money. Jeep makes a profit. Dodge makes a profit. Chrysler maybe breaks even. But they also took Dodge trucks away and created it as Ram. It's now a separate division. It used to be Dodge trucks, but now it's Ram, and it was taken away from Dodge because there's rumors Chrysler wants to just get rid of the Dodge name. But I think they would kill themselves if they did that. They just want to make everything Chrysler, but they would kill themselves. It's not the Chrysler Charger. Because to this day, Dodge has its own engineers and its own design people. Dodge is still allowed autonomy. Ever since Chrysler bought them out in 1939, Dodge has always had autonomy to have its own engineers and its own designers. Well, you can blame it, but it was an incredible creation. It drove like a car, but, you could fill it up. I've had 3 Caravans, and I've loved them all. I love them more than my Durango. If I could have I tried to buy a used Dodge Caravan locally and couldn't find one. I would have bought it over my Durango. Better gas mileage, and I can fit sheets of 4x8 wood and drywall flat in my Caravans. I can't fit those that way in my Durango. I can at least get them in my Durango. In my Journey, you couldn't even get them in. So I gave my Journey to my daughter. But in a way, it was a flex because it revolutionized the automotive industry and it turned Chrysler a huge profit. Chrysler was dying and the minivan created it. So in a way, it is a flex, even if we started calling them the soccer mom cars and because there are still tons of companies that make the minivans. Honda Odyssey, I think, is the top selling one now. But yeah, Dodge did a lot of creative inventions, stow and go seating, all kinds of cool things that now are standard, but it was all out of our engineers. Yeah, the old 300s, that's a different story. But yeah, and why Chrysler had problems with that, I don't know, because the Dodge Chargers did well. But, you know, that's like any old car from the 60s and 70s, bad gas mileage in America. But, man, the space in them. You could fit 4 across the front seat, 4 across the back seat, and store 6 bodies in the trunk. Well, that's because you got a lot of the soccer moms driving those cars now, family vehicles. The focus of your layout is 1994 to 2000. My layout has no focus. Everything about me is unfocused. I have autism and ADD, and my layout reflects that. So Jimmy Hoffa is still in the trunk somewhere. And 2 bales of hay. Yeah, you're set. Well, yeah, that's a Lincoln. Lincolns have a little different, you know, there's a reason we called those boats. Lincolns were tanks or boats, as we always called them. My dad, the one year he was making good money, bought a 1977 Grand Marquis. Big monster car. The Mercury Grand Marquis. I hated that thing, but my dad loved it. Even got it with an 8-track radio. You hate dropping in scale people. Yeah, the old Opals were good cars. All right, you're off to cool down. Yeah, you guys are having, well, we're having a heat wave here. It's 31 Celsius here. Although the morning was a little bit cooler than we've had, but yeah, we were about 26, 27 when Joyce and I went out, but it's now gotten up to 30 Celsius. But we had clouds earlier. It's supposed to have some rain again. But you know, I haven't changed cameras in a while, so let's do that. We'll put up a 4 view. Yeah, it's a very, the whole world's in a heat wave, it just seems like. I mean, when we looked at the long-range forecast before going to Denmark and Rostock, we were being told it was going to be 15 to 20 Celsius. You know, and so we dressed for cold weather, or we packed for cold weather. And then by the time we got to Copenhagen, it was 25 to 30, and Rostock was 25 to 32 every day we were there. And since we've been home, the lowest temp has been 30 Celsius, and most days has been 32 to 40. Winter down there, you're over the cold. See, I mean, obviously in the summer, I want a little bit of heat, but I would be happy if we never got over 80 degrees Fahrenheit, which is what, about 27, 26 and a half Celsius. If we stayed at 80 degrees Fahrenheit through the summer, I'd be happy. The minute it's 85, 90 degrees, I can't stand going outside because we also have the humidity here. Now, it's not necessarily as bad as in Florida humidity, but at least you got the oceans there. We got an algae bloomed lake that you can't go swimming in at the height of summer many years because they get an algae bloom from all the farms chemicals that flow into the water system that flow into the lake. But I'm a cold water swimmer. I love to swim in the cold water. I didn't swim in a heated pool until I was, somewhere in my teens. I grew up swimming in cold lakes in northern Michigan, and then when we go to Germany, I will hop in. Joyce hates it, but I had a blast going swimming both in the Kattegat and then the Baltic Sea twice. Once at Warnemünde in Rostock and once at Binz on the Isle of Rügen. I got to swim in the Baltic Sea. It was cold. Joyce actually went in with me in the Baltic Sea. That was great when we were at Warnemünde. It was 92 Fahrenheit. So what is that, about 33, 34 Celsius? 34 Celsius, 35 Celsius. It was hot and muggy. And she decided she didn't care how cold the water is. At that point, she was going to go in. So she did go swimming with me, which was awesome. Speaking of Joyce, on Joyce's channel, she has posted the first video of our trip to Germany, our first day in Koblenz. If you... Oh, the Corrados, yeah. But let me see if I can find... let me get Joyce's channel here. What the heck? But that's Joyce's channel. I just posted a link to Joyce's channel. Joyce, if you're new here, is my wife. She'll be down here in 10 to 15 minutes to join us for the last hour, as always. Very little humidity in northern New Mexico. Yeah, I'm a northern person. I can't live, to be honest, I can't live south of Columbus. I really am an Ohioan, and I really couldn't live in any other state than Ohio. I got Ohio history in my blood, and I do love the state of Ohio, although I've loved everywhere I've been. But if I moved, I'd move north. And the biggest reason I'd move is because the winters here in Toledo, we're getting less and less snow. It's warming up, and we're not having snow in the winters like we used to. And I want to go someplace where I've got a good chance of a white Christmas. So if I moved, it would be northward. The problem is I can't move because it would take me further away from my son and his wife and any future grandbabies we'd have with them, as well as our kids that live here in Toledo with us, that live here in Toledo. They don't live, well, my one daughter lives with us, but my daughter, my grandson, and husband, they live north of us, but we're all here in Toledo. Yeah, you guys are cooking over there, Chris. You guys are cooking for what you guys are used to. And the difference is, like, here, this house is air conditioned. So When it's 90 degrees outside, it's 72 Fahrenheit inside. When it's 30 degrees outside, it's 30 degrees Fahrenheit outside, or 0 degrees, it's 72 here in the basement. It's always 72 here in the basement. But my uncle, my dad's older brother, he had lung cancer. He was a heavy smoker his whole life. And in his 70s, they removed the lung and they told him to move to Arizona or New Mexico. It would it would help him. And he refused to move. He was an Ohioan. He was not going to leave. He was not going to leave Ohio. He still made it into his 80s when he died. But yeah, Joyce posted our first day at Koblenz, and then she'll have another one going up Sunday. We'll probably do them every other day, but she's going to have a lot of them. I think everybody's like that, Tom. There are some people who love the heat and some people who love the cold. I tend to prefer the cold. But I like 4 seasons. First of all, I like 4 seasons. I like to see the seasons change. Toledo has beautiful springs, except they're cold and rainy or hot and rainy anymore. But fall in Toledo is beautiful. Toledo is a very green colored city. We've got just all kinds of trees everywhere. Even Germans that have visited Toledo would comment on, wow, Toledo's got a lot of parks and a lot of trees. We're a poor city. We're a dying city, but at least we're dying green. But yeah, it's... so let's go to... No, not that. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do this. Bing. Okay, let's change cameras again. Now let's go to the multi-view again. I haven't been moving the cameras around as much as I should. I get talking and forget to change cameras. Well, everything's run smoothly since I took those Austrian cars off the Nightjet. Had a crazy start. Yeah, and that's understandable. When we were at Barnemünde, Andre, we met people that had driven up from Berlin just to go swimming that day. I think it was a Sunday, and they had driven up or even taken the trains up early just to go to Barnemünde because they knew it was going to be so hot. And we ran into some very nice people from Berlin talking about it. But yeah, Rostock was a cool city. I like Rostock a lot. We stayed in a nice apartment, about a 4-minute walk from the what's the gate? The one gate. I know there's 4, but the one that's right near the shopping area. We had a nice park and the gate, and we were 5 to 10 minute walk away from the heart of the Altstadt. The Steintor, was that it? Was it the Steintor? No, it was not the Steintor. All right. Come in Google Earth. Come in Google Earth or Google Maps. Began with a K. Kropeliner. Yep, it was the Kropeliner tour. That's where we were. Kropelina. The Kropelina tour. No, Brian, I am not getting the Shay. I get into trouble when I explain why I'm not getting the Shay, but I'm not getting the Shay. If I'm going to get an American train, it's going to be modern. I need an Amtrak. I want an Amtrak. I want a modern era Amtrak and 3-rail. Yeah, so we were in an apartment building on I just X'd that back out, darn it. Yeah, we lived on Schroederstrasse at the corner of August Bebelstrasse and Schroederstrasse. And the big park with the Heubastion and the Bauanlage and, the Kroppeliner Tor were all 3 to 5 minute walk. Joyce and I enjoyed a lot of evening walks around the park and the pond in the middle of the park there. I know you don't live in Rostock, but I figure you probably are familiar with a few things in Rostock. But yeah, it was very easy for us to get into the Altstadt, both the Neuermarkt and the Altermarkt. And we just thought it was a great city. There's a little restaurant called Helga's Kitchen, which made good food. We really enjoyed eating at Helga's Kitchen. You know Rostock like your own room. Okay. No, there is a Steintor in Rostock. It's just on the other end from the Kroppeliner. See, I'm home and I start going American and saying Kroppeliner when it's Kroppeliner. That was a beautiful gate. They had a wine and cheese. They had a wine tasting party all weekend. It started Thursday and was going Sunday night. I was shocked that Sunday night it was still going. Yeah, I would love an Amtrak Asila or the one that has the Charger, the Charger locomotive. Basically, it's a Class 101 or whatever, BR101. But yeah, if I would get modern era passenger, but I need it in 3-rail, and unfortunately, no American company makes 3-rail. MTH did make some HO scale trains in 3-rail. I could get older stock. Märklin made a Amtrak, but it was like an Era 4, Era 4, Era 5 Amtrak, which I may still break down and get, but they can be pricey. I did find one place that was selling it for about a third of what everybody else sells it for, and I should have jumped on it. Guy had the 7-car set for $230 American dollars. And it was like, oh, because most people want $500 to $700 for it. Don't tell anyone. Oh, yep, Steintor. Well, there's trams near Kroppeliner, but not that close. No, that's the pedestrian zone. There was also a nice little Italian restaurant over by the river we ate at that was really good, run by some Romanians. I'll tell you what, the lady who co-owns the place and acts as head waitress, a very pretty woman. Joyce and I both commented that when she told us how old she was, we were like, wow, she looks really good for her age. I mean, Joyce looks good for her age too, but she said she was in her 50s. Joyce is almost 60 and looks much younger, especially when she's not tired. You guys always see her as she's just come home from a week of work on the live stream, and she looks just so tired, but she comes in to support the channel and hang out with you all. But some of you have seen her when she's had a good night's sleep and very lively and ready to go. Hey, there's my friend Christopher. Oh, no. You came down with the lurgy. Oh, my God. Christopher. Yikes. Well, you go to one of those big in-services and somebody's carrying it and passes it around. That's my problem now. I watch my grandson. He goes to preschool, hangs out with all these kids who are all passing germs back and forth, building up their immunities, and then I watch them, and I don't have the immunities anymore. Christopher! Sir Christopher of Nunnington. Yep, you got the whole group of little towns up there by Christopher. You've got many eaten, some eaten, and none eaten. All eaten. Hey, Joyce, where are you? You're late. I'll have to nag old wifey poo now. But yeah, I've been editing our vacation videos to put up on Joyce's channel, and she's been it's been fun to relive. But that was the thing. It's like we just put up that video from our trip to the Jersland Rail Museum. I put it on my channel because it's train related. And that was a month ago. Holy crap. It both feels like 5 years ago and yesterday, and it was a month ago. It's just mind-blowing because we did so many things and had so many experiences, and we've been home for 2 weeks. High rises at the main station. Oh, interesting. Well, Joyce, as soon as I was sick for a third day, Joyce made me test, and then I tested again 48 hours later. Time is fake. Well, yeah, time is a human construct, but because it's constructed, it's a part of our psyche. And so we just, the funny thing is we'll watch parts of videos and we'll go, oh, yeah. We had forgotten that. There are times where you're watching a video, or Joyce will look up as I'm showing some stuff on the TV screen, and she's like, where's that? I'm like, you were there. How do you not know? But just so many things happen, and certain things take precedence. Rostock was the last place we went, so Rostock is the easiest to remember. And we've been to Koblenz many times, so if we mention something in Koblenz, that's relatively easy. But, Joyce was filming some introductions to the videos, and I said, okay, now we're going to do an intro for the Aachen video. And she goes, what was in Aachen? What was in Aachen? And I said, well, your best memory would be that's where we went up to the three country corner, where three borders come together. Belgium, Netherlands, and Germany come together. She doesn't remember anything about the city of Aachen because her big thing was going up to that, hiking up the hill and going to that point where right here it says the tallest point in the Netherlands, and then 50 to 100 feet away, about 30 meters, 15 to 30 meters away, is a point where here's the border of Germany, here's the border of Belgium, and here's the border of Netherlands, all meeting at this point. And holy cow, did it drive my cell phone crazy. I would take 2 steps and my phone would go, welcome to Belgium. No, welcome to the Netherlands. Wait, welcome to Germany. Welcome to Belgium. Welcome to... It's like, I haven't even moved and it keeps changing what country I'm in. Time flies, good things elephants with diarrhea don't. Indeed. Pigeons are bad enough. There's only space-time. That's right. Greg is quoting David Byrne and Talking Heads. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Look where my hand was. Same as it ever was. Watching the days go by. Water flowing under. Watching the days go by. Water flowing under. Still got that video in my head. I wonder if you could do a model train parody on that one. Time is inertia. There are times it doesn't move and then something makes it move and then it flies by quickly. We live in the probable immediate future. Indeed. And if you buy into string theory, which is a modification of membrane theory, which is a modification of bubble theory, we are at this moment, before you make a decision to do something, you are actually living in multiple universes. And then as soon as you make a decision to do one thing, I just had a thought, end the live stream now, just say goodbye everybody and disconnect. And in one parallel universe that just went off from the decision to say, nope, I'm staying on, in one alternate universe, I did elect to just say, all right, everybody, I'm just tired, goodbye, click. Because I had that decision in my mind. Every time we make a choice, it creates another infinite parallel universe. And because everybody's constantly making choices. And there is a guy, and I forget his name, that mathematically proved it is theoretically probable. All I remember is that the guy's name, the guy's son, Mark, and the last name begins with E, is the creative force behind the band The Eels. Yes, and in quantum theory, time may not be constant, but quantum theory, although really it shouldn't say quantum theory, quantum physics, it hasn't truly upgraded to theory. But quantum mechanics and quantum physics create more questions than they find answers to. Exactly, Tom. But it's not even so much that time runs backwards and forwards. And in the string theory, time travel is basically you puncture one membrane, and if you were to suddenly somehow be able to travel back in time, you actually left your world and entered, because there are infinite number of universes at different stages. In other words, there's another universe with another Earth that is currently in the Dark Ages, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And before other people's heads explode, let's leave the time chat. And welcome in our co-hostess, Vanna White. No, I'm sorry, not Vanna White. It's the one, it's the only, it's Joyce!
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Sorry, I have damp hair. I was going to go outside and dry a little more, but shit happened. So, hi, Tom. Hi, Raymond. Hi, Bailey. Hi, Great Northern. Hi,
That's
Andy.
Greg.
I'm not guessing that names. Hi, Greg. Hi, Mansfield.
Andre. Andre from just outside Wolfstock.
Right.
Right.
Hey, Dina. Hey, Southern Cross. Hi there, Tom. Hello, Jean.
John's enjoying a splash.
So you joined a splash. That's super.
That way I'm not hiding behind. Well, I'd have to go that way, hide behind that.
No, I'm going to have to go get the other watch.
You're going to have to what?
I'm going to have to get the other.
Nick says hi.
Hi, Nick. I got a new phone.
Oh, and it's not set up yet? You can't get it?
So, no, it's just the process. Okay, hi, Doc. Hi. It's just the process.
Oh, Lindy's here. Again, if you're new to the channel, Lindy Loves is my daughter with her husband, Chris, my son, and our grandson,
probably should have been
so
listening.
he's here. So he heard Grandma, so he knew it was time to say hello.
Time to say hello, yeah.
So we got to go that. All right, plug yours, everybody.
It was a busy day. I just finally got a shower in, so it's on wet. Still wetter than I want to be.
Ready?
Okay.
Cayenne! Hi, Cayenne. Opa loves you.
Opa loves you.
Hi, Cayenne.
We'll see about that dog.
Up. Hey there, little
I'll
guy.
tell you what he said later.
Hi there. What's that?
I have to tell you what he said later.
Oh, what?
Hi, Lee. Yes.
Uh-oh.
I know. It's a later conversation.
It's a later conversation?
It is.
Oh, boy.
So, hey, Mick. So, I sure hope I've caught you all. If I didn't, so hello again, and everybody, and everybody, and everybody, and everybody, and
everybody, and everybody, and everybody.
everybody.
Everybody loves somebody sometime.
Okay. All right, I'll put you on my watch.
So is this the new or the old one?
This is the new one.
Is it? It looks pinkish rather than silver.
It's probably my cup.
Oh, do you have the cover on it?
No, I don't have the cover on it. I can't get the cover on it.
Oh.
What the hell is YouTube? Yeah, it's been rough.
In answer to your shirt, no on a surfboard.
I always would have loved to surf, but, we're not in the right place to surf.
I don't know. I suppose if we grew up in Southern California or Hawaii, we'd all would have been surfing.
Oh, sure. There's a few people that try to there's YouTube music. There's people that try to surf, we'll go here. Okay.
An escapee.
Yeah.
But wait, go down.
Okay.
Oh, okay, you just got... Well, you just had an access point to it, and then you scrolled...
I know, it's okay. Hi, Andrew. If I didn't say hi, I don't know. I've lost track.
What? Oh, goodness.
Oh, no doubt. Being on the Tasman Sea, I believe you are. Why not? What a cool... No, I don't want to sign in on that phone. Stop and give you a like. Okay.
Well, I thank you, dear.
Yeah,
I can't get a like from my own wife. Well, I'm saying if I can't get a like from my own wife, I'm in trouble.
It's bad indeed.
Yeah, Stream started off with all kinds of problems, but we got it going.
I was hearing you. It was a detour.
We were in Hawaii for about 20 hours.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think it was that long. We were 12 at the most. From 5 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Yeah, well, that would have been 18 hours.
18. Well, okay, golly. Yeah, we were on our way to see Artie in Australia, and Anthony and I were both trying to sleep, and we had the flight tracker on. And I don't know if one or both of us kind of looked at that and went, wait, what? 90 minutes?
I was sleeping. And
Honolulu? What the heck? Previously, we did hear somebody ask for a doctor or a nurse.
We were both sleeping.
Ish, yeah.
Well, because I had to wake you up and tell you, but...
No, I was awake.
Okay, you just didn't notice it till I pointed everything out then.
Because
I woke up when I felt the strange banking in the plane, and my brain went, problems, and I woke up and I looked up and it said, you're 90 minutes.
We're gonna crash.
Yeah. You're 90 minutes from your destination. Like, wow, Dominic. I slept that long? Wow, we're only 90 minutes from Sydney. And then I looked at it, said, Honolulu. So, we're gonna land in Honolulu.
Like I say, because they had,
why are we landing in Honolulu?
Because they asked for a doctor or a nurse, we figured it out pretty fast. That was the closest port of call in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. So land we did.
So yep, hey Dominic, how are you?
Waited forever for three Uber drivers to get everybody to the hotels that the Delta was.
Because that was the thing, we landed like 1:30-ish, but we didn't get to the hotel. We didn't get into the room until 4:35.
Oh, I was took us 3 hours. 6. It was a long time. What'd you get? A Jada toy?
Oh, RC Back to the Future DeLorean.
There you go.
Well, if you lose it, you'll know what happened.
Yeah, really.
Getting it back will be the hard part.
To figure out how to time hop. We're going to go right back to that conversation.
Oh, God. We're going right back to that conversation. Yes.
Sorry. My bad. Oh, golly. So, anyway.
That'd be funny. You jerry rig it to make it go fast. You go, and I was like, hey, where'd it go?
Well, you know, it eventually comes back.
Yeah, and it comes back, and you're
80.
and your 18-year-old self almost bonked your 18-year-old mother. Talk about like Oedipal complex.
An orangutan on stilts. Harry? Orange?
No, don't want to go there.
Did you get some sun today?
Yeah, it should do the Charger from Bullet. But no, they'll do the Ford because the good guy drove the Ford.
Right.
Because Ford sponsored it.
Right. Bad guys had the Chargers because they couldn't catch them.
Yeah, in the movie Bullet with Steve McQueen, they had to put restrictors in the Charger's engine. They had to put restrictors in the Charger's engine because the Charger kept catching the Ford. And also they went through 6 Ford Cobra Mustangs, Mustang 2s. They went through 6 of them in filming and 1 Charger. Because the Fords were falling apart in that chase scene and the Chargers were just like, this ain't nothing.
Right, yeah. Yeah, we got that. Yeah, really? A train car. Back to the Future train car. I don't know. I'd say we're not into all those kitschy things, except I think we're into all those kitschy things.
Well, we're into kitschy things, just not necessarily the same ones.
Right. Oh, yeah.
It's like I have bought Beatle trains. I have got Beatle trains, but I would not buy the AC/DC one as much as I like a lot of AC/DC music. The train and the cars to go with it are just a little bit because I'm not that big an AC/DC fan. But if they did the
Right.
same thing with Beatles,
You'd buy it.
it's
Yeah.
sort of like Hornby. Look what Hornby did with the Beatles. A
Yeah.
class 73. Not a class 37, not a class 66. Not one of the great classic locomotives,
Oh,
but a 73.
RC Lightning McQueen. Yeah, Kyan was so into cars for good year, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, he was in the movie Cars. Now he
Yes.
doesn't want to see it.
Zero interest. That's so weird.
Because we have RC cars
We do.
in the house. We got a couple
Yeah.
of RC Chargers.
Yeah.
All my kids at one time or another wanted an RC car, so one got an RC Dodge Ram truck and then a Charger, and the other one had a Challenger.
Yeah, something along those lines. Huh.
What's the matter?
Dominic has DE small next to him.
Which one?
Of course. But nobody else does.
No, that is part of his name.
Oh, okay.
There are ways you can mess with the
And put your
script and the
location
print
in?
to put it.
Okay.
Well, not to put to put anything in. He just happened to put it as .de.
Yeah, gotcha. Is there a dot there? Maybe not.
Yeah, every now and then I try to talk my son into, let's watch Cars because I get tired of Paw Patrol.
Yeah.
Or now he wants, there's this video game called Stardew Valley, and he wants to watch people playing it.
Holds nothing for us.
He made me start playing it, and I did just entertain him, but when he gets into something, he is mono-focused on
sure
it. That's
is.
all there is in the world.
That's his ADHD.
I don't know, does anybody here know this little computer game, Stardew Valley? It basically starts off, you start as a little farmer in this little town.
Betcha Randall knows it.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. The little answer character.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. So blue Dodge Challenger?
Oh, what a shame. What a shame.
Really?
I just want, Dodge actually once made a train. That would be a cool model to have.
What?
Dodge, car company back in the 30s, made a train, a locomotive.
Oh,
They also made school buses.
cool.
Yup. And YouTube converts it to DE, right? Well, hi, Sir Andy 81E. No such thing as being late. No such thing as being late.
Yeah, glad you finished work.
You're all like wizards. You arrive exactly when you mean to.
Yeah.
We do have a start time and a finish time, but it's not school. You don't have to be here at 3 o'clock or 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, whatever time it is in your zone when we start.
Yeah.
It's an awkward time for everybody.
Yeah, it's hard
me.
to accommodate as many people as we do. And it's awfully early for you, Monsville. So
Yep.
always impressed when you
It's
come
very
in.
early for some. It gets late for others.
Yeah, I get people in the
We
U.S. are
just
still
do
working,
what
and
we just do what, it
It's-
started when I could
we
do
got
it.
3 hours, so the Americans can at least come in.
Friday
last
at
hour.
3 o'clock, because I used to do it 3 to 5 o'clock.
Right.
I used to do it, and then it was 3:30 to 5:30. It was 3:30 to 5:30 because you would come home about 5:30. But then you started coming down and hanging out, so I decided to start. I forget who it was. It might have been Robert from Robert's Train Set asked me if I could start earlier.
No worries, Monsville.
And once I retired,
Anthony's been told more than once that he's very easy to sleep to. His students thought so. Sorry.
oh, students didn't fall asleep in my class. The only time a student slept in my class is if it was a kid I wanted to sleep in my class, because it beat having to deal with them. Put your head down, take a nap. If you don't want to do the work, put your head down, take a nap. But stop interrupting class.
Right.
You got a choice. Put your head down and nap, or go spend it in the dean's office.
Awful.
That was the power I had. If I booted a kid out, I can't tell you how many deans over here, when a kid came in and said, you got kicked out by Dodge, you must have been a real jerk.
Yep.
When I kicked the kid out, they knew. If Dodge kicked you out, you must have been bad. But no, if kids fell asleep in my class, I had all kinds of mean practical jokes I did to them.
Blue freckles.
What?
Blue freckles.
Blue measles. Blue measles.
Right. Yeah, the
Blue
teenagers will
measles.
talk about it.
There's blue measles. My favorite one was, especially if it was one of the last couple of classes of the day, is I would change the clock in the classroom. I'd put it ahead. And then I would tell all my kids to quietly try to get up and go out in the hall. And then I'd make it look like it was 4 o'clock and school ended at 2:45. I was like, hey, Billy, I'm ready to go home now. And I'd be grabbing my coat. And the kid would wake up. What? Oh my God. And he'd go running out and the whole classroom was up. Now, today that would be considered public shaming.
Yes,
and
of course it would.
It would be considered bad.
Hello, Titi Henri.
Hello, bonsoir, Titi Henri. Comme ça?
Andre has unlimited power.
Comment allez-vous?
Power. Power.
Power. Unlimited power.
So if all
No, that's it. That's that old
MST
3K bit. Torture! Torture! That must be torture! What is that movie? The Teenager from Outer Space. There has to be torture!
Yeah. I'll get there. Wow, I've hovered over the like and it gives me the option to change it to an unlike. Damn, YouTube.
To unlike it, yeah, because if you click over the other one, it's dislike.
Right.
So you can like, unlike, and dislike.
Dislike that.
I shall give this an unlike. I liked it, and then I took the like off. It has become an unlike. But then this channel is unlike any other channel, so I guess it works. I am my own little eclectic mix. You had a kid in the live stream the other night that was asking people for advice on what to do. I said, I can tell you what to do if you want to grow your channel. But I will also tell you I do none of it. I don't do the things to grow your channel. Now, I know people say, you got 2,600 subscribers or whatever I have. And, but, you know, I know people that have 1,500 subscribers and get 1,500 views on their videos. I've got 2,600 subscribers and get about 200 views. Because I don't follow.
That's pretty cruel there, Mick.
I don't do all the things that YouTube's Creator Studio sends me emails. To help boost your views, you should be doing this and doing this and doing this. And I'm like, nope, I do things my way. And whoever wants to watch
Leo Unlimited. How nice of Clintonville to send you.
Oh, well.
He's been here before. He's blue.
Well, I really like this Clintonville. He's the one that helped me find he found the good Roco Railjet. That's Brian. He found me that awesome Roco Railjet.
Okay,
Of which
cool.
I started it with 6 cars, but the OBB cars kept uncoupling from the Nightjet car. The Nightjet's got one of those plastic El Cheapo.
So you've got to change the couplers on it.
Well, I did, but I thought I was putting one of the proper Roco couplers on, but I think it was one of those El Cheapo, Piko, or ESU ones by mistake.
Yeah.
But yeah, it uncoupled twice. I was like, and it came around and hit them, and I was like, that's it. And I just took them all off.
Fish God, right?
Oh, now see, woo. Joyce says that all the time.
That's only because Lenny was saying that.
Lenny would say it, I guess. Okay, but you're the one I always hear saying it. Woo.
That was, I think it's weird, and then all of a sudden
we're Cleveland Dog Pound members. We're Cleveland Dog Pound members, so we were always woof. Which, the one comedian and then talk show host stole.
Big guy. He's not a big guy. He's on the Price is Right.
He was buddies and did a lot of movies with Eddie Murphy before they had their falling out. I can't think of his name now. Arsenio Hall, that's it.
Oh, never
Yeah,
mind.
he stole that.
Yeah, okay.
Because he's actually lived in Cleveland for a while.
Well, I mean, that's kind of, I know a lot of you from something.
The fish guy.
And that's your thing.
Well, and again, see.
Woot is a steam engine. Oh, now you're going to start using it.
No.
Oh,
I don't know where woot woot came from. It came from our daughter.
Yeah, Lindy, you need to explain
And Joyce puts it in stuff all the time. She'll put it at the end of letters like, hey, I just got another, I just got this award or certificate. Woot woot. See,
So
steam locos are.
All right, Andre, thanks for coming in.
All right, Andre.
Gute Nacht.
Schlaf gut.
Oh.
Gute Nacht. But see, that's something else I got to start looking for. We were just watching our Aachen video and the Trier video and Saarburg video. And we rode Luxembourg trains for all of those.
Where were we again?
Aachen.
Aachen and Trier.
And if you remember, on the way to Aachen,
that.
we got switched to a Belgian train.
That I don't remember.
You don't remember? Yeah,
No.
it had the big B's on it. We got switched to a Belgian train on the way to Aachen.
Yeah, it was a little confusing at times.
Yeah, we rode Belgian and Luxembourg trains going to Aachen. And then...
Since we walked up to the 3 points up there, though, I understand why.
Yeah.
They're close. We took a bus to the Netherlands, and it was just down the street. It was nothing.
I always thought American steamers went choo.
Oh yeah.
Choo.
Yeah, I agree. That's an American.
But yeah, you're her fish guy now too, because everything you've suggested to her, she's been doing.
Pretty much.
And all successfully.
Yeah. Except I can't find my loaches.
Well, that has nothing to do with anything he suggested.
I know. I don't know if they're dead or they're just hiding really well. It's kind of hard to tell. They were
probably
fun.
got sucked up by the.
I think they got sucked up.
Somebody confused them as spaghetti.
They could have been eaten by somebody. Yeah, Leo, he doesn't know his fish. Yeah, he's told us a lot about fish.
Well,
they dig in the gravel, right? So it's not weird for me to not see them.
Well, these are the what are they? They're the snake loaches or whatever.
Yeah, they know what they are. Yeah, they have in the substrate. So
well, there you go. So they're probably just down there. Come out at night when you go to bed. Come out at dark.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen one occasionally.
Well, I thought you said you haven't seen one in a...
I haven't seen one now in at least a week.
Did you see them when we came back from Germany?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Then, yeah, they're just hiding.
Yeah, the long...
Saw yours every couple of months. The coolie loaches.
I think they're fine.
It. Yep, coolie loaches.
So you found them every couple of months. Okay. All right, then I won't worry about them then. Because, yeah, we've been getting our fish from a local private, fish store, not a chain.
Yeah,
and
just a small
these
guy.
are the healthiest fish I have ever seen. I will never go to a box store to get fish.
This guy runs a good shop.
Oh, yeah.
I forget what his shop is called.
I always say, from a box store, you bring those fish and you'd lose 2 or 3 every time.
He's not there all the time. He's got other people that work there, friends and family.
That's okay.
But he's a relatively young guy.
Yeah, he is.
But he knows the stuff,
I mean, the young lady who helped me set up my big tank there, and it's only 39. Because it's fun when you see them, Valley. That's why. So, they are really cool fish. So, I was going to say, dang.
Because when you do see them, it's exciting. Oh, look, there's one, and you get that little burst of joy.
If she didn't know something, she Googled it real fast. So she was doing okay.
That's why I went into fish as pets. They look cool, and when they die, it's not nearly as tragic.
Oh, that's awful, Leo. Get shit in your tank.
Oh no, that's terrible.
Oh, track maintenance. I think we heard that was going to happen when we came in. I thought they said they were going to do maintenance.
Yeah, that's right. We were catching.
But I didn't think they were going to close everything. Yikes.
Well, that's just we lucked out.
Well, Bailey, where's your trains? Oh, they're in the tunnels. He's comparing the loaches.
Yeah, but when they come out of the tunnels,
Oscars?
it's exciting, right?
That's sad. Yeah, very frustrating.
Yeah, genre. Yeah, but so it was convenient. We went to.
Oh, no worries. I'm still happy with them. They are a cool fish. I'm all right with them hiding and coming out every now and then. And I have the rocks I have in my tank are very similar to their colors. So, yeah. Well, yeah, Leo. Greyhound is definitely more reliable.
Well, I have traveled by plane, train, automobile, and to me, train. This is why I'm into model trains, because I traveled in Europe by train, and the comfort level, the relaxation level, even if it doesn't get you to where you're going as fast, it's easier. I love traveling by train in Europe, even
Sir
though
Fish God, how does that work now?
this past trip to Europe, we had more train issues than we had in our previous 20-some trips to Europe combined, and Australia. But we only rode trains in Australia once.
Oh,
or twice technically. Once there, once back.
Right. Yeah, we did the Flixbus. That wasn't as awful as I thought it might be.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was what I expected. It was a bus, but we were lucky. We actually sat in the front of the bus because when I booked the seats, I was like first person booking, and I was asking Joyce, "Where do you want to be? Lower level or top level?" She said, "Lower level." Do you want to be in the middle, or do you want to be way in the back, or do you want to be in the front? She said, "In the front, looking out the window." So I put us right there. I was one of the first people to book on that train, so we got the top level front two seats. So we had a little bit more leg room in front of us than most people probably did.
Amtrak's rough. I mean, I think if you're in the East Coast, it works pretty well. It's when you get into the Midwest here that it gets very sketchy. I know my
Surfish God.
Surfish God.
Surfish God. You are Sir Brian of Clintonville, the Royal
Fish God.
The Royal.
Oh,
wait, no. Ichthy. Is it Ichthy?
Yeah, I know where you're going. Ichthyologist?
Ichthyologist.
Ichthyologist,
the Royal Ichthyologist. Isn't Ichthy fish?
Oh, you got storms tonight. That's not fun.
No, the Royal Pisces sounds too astrological.
All right, well, good luck. Stay weather aware. Watch Ryan Hall. I saw he was live somewhere, and I think I saw the severe storms were your way, so upper Midwest.
Yeah, I hear you, CLL.
Yeah, it is gross out here, too.
It has been gross since we got back from Germany.
You're just going to be the royal jackass, huh?
No, there's way too many people in here that can classify as royal. Jean Ricard is the royal court jester.
Bye, Lee.
All right, Lee, thank you.
Yeah, glad you came in.
Hi to Lady Jackie or Dame Jackie.
Dame Jackie, yeah.
Dame Jackie, right. Dame is the feminization of Sir and Dame.
Royal Loach Hider.
Royal Loach Hider.
It's just the fish. They do that themselves.
Royal Ichthyologist. I like that. That's really Royal Ichthyologist. And Mick is the Royal Mixologist.
See, I can play your YouTube on there too.
Does it have sound?
Probably. I don't know that it's on.
I can't hear it. Chit, this is smart.
Oh, there's the sound. Oh, I turned it on there.
Oh, okay.
They work together, so 100%.
Gee, that's a smart.
Yeah,
Would you believe? 2 new locos.
All right, that's smart.
5 weather radios spanning all the different weather channels in Northern Illinois, as well as every fire department in 50-mile radius, maybe 75.
Okay, that's good. In the know is good.
Yes, I actually knew Matchbox made a train set.
In the band.
Or at least I've seen it, or seen somebody had one. Like I said, it's there are some interesting companies. Mark's Toys made trains at one time. And that's what I was telling Joyce, is that Dodge, the car company Dodge, actually made some locomotives back in the 30s.
What scale was the Matchbox train set? Is it the same? Is it the one? What's Matchbox?
Would it have been? Well, Matchbox and Hot Wheels are 1/64th, or in the train world known as S scale.
So are they S scale?
Heck, Radio Flyer, the guys that made the sleds and wagons, made model trains at one point.
Okay, so a little bit smaller than HO.
A little bit smaller than
Would that
HO.
make
So that would, a scale would be smaller than HO. I mean, technically TT is HO, or smaller than HO. So it's N scale.
Yeah.
A little bit smaller, S scale.
Yeah, N scale's a lot smaller.
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. Check that. S scale is bigger. S scale is bigger.
Yeah.
Because that scale is 1/64, so
well,
it's bigger.
Matchbox are bigger too.
Oops.
Than they're bigger than your HO cars.
That scale is
I
bigger
had to think about
than
that for a
HO.
minute.
TT, as far as I know, is the next smallest size below HO. Yeah, I got myself corrected.
Yeah, sorry. Took a minute though. Me too. Yeah, we understand that.
There's that problem in some places.
I mean, we can. So we've got a train store about 2 to 2.5 hours away.
Ormondy's, we did a video on it.
Yeah, that carries
half European, half Lionel.
Right, that
with
carries
just a little bit, tiny bit
carries
of
a lot of Märklin. So
American HO stuff.
You know what, Clintonville? That's perfectly fine. Rounds you out. Nonetheless, I will remember you as the fish guy.
I'm a Beatles geek.
Boxed you in.
I'm a Beatles geek, a Middle Earth geek, history geek.
Okay.
I used to be a car geek, but really, I can't even call myself a car geek because I don't care about cars unless my name's on them.
Well, that's true. Gotcha. Okay.
Never learned where it came from. I don't know, Tom. At the rate you've been going, go back up to your attic or whatever, or garage, and find a box. You might find you have a whole bunch of S-scale stuff that you don't remember buying.
And trash.
Holy cow, your videos were fun to watch. Hey, look what I just found. Oh, look at this stuff I forgot I had. Oh, look at this. It's like, damn. Who's little magic leprechaun putting train boxes in your hidden away? Buddy L made a large... Yeah, they did. That's true, Raymond.
I don't know about that.
And of course, there was Tycho, and even as a kid, Tycho was considered the low end of model trains. He's got little L's. Wait, he's talking about S-scale now. Let's put up a box of S-scale stuff that will mess with his mind until he goes crazy. The Royal Blue G gauge. Well, that would be cool to see in G scale.
Yeah, that's a nice gift.
G scale
for a train guy.
G scale is a nice scale because you can get L cheapos in G scale that are cheaper than HO and N scale stuff, and then you get some really expensive models. The only problem with G scale is you're going to run a loco and 3 cars. Because anything more, there's just no space unless you run a and the type of trains I run, there is no G scale. Now Raymond will probably prove me wrong, but I've never seen a G scale ICE3 I've never seen a G-scale ICE.
Yeah.
I have seen a G-scale Railjet locomotive, but not the cars.
All right, Great Northern. You got room for it.
Yeah, if you got room for it, there's nothing wrong with any scale. You go with the scale that works for you.
Exactly.
The only thing I would ever advise a person is, depending on your situation, pick one scale. But there's Monsville has.
I know. What a find in a thrift store.
Monsville has 00, TT, N scale, and I think O scale.
Monsville, you can correct us if he's wrong.
Do you have the 4 scales going? Because I think you said you had O scale as well.
Mon has a lot of room, I understand.
Well, 6 layouts plus the new one.
I mean, different rooms, I know. I've watched the videos. $10, still in the box. Wow.
LGB, which of course is owned by Märklin, my company. Well, not my company, but
okay.
Märklin,
So
Raymond
chiped in. He says you could gotten an IC1. Oh, you don't have O. Okay. I'm sure you don't have room left.
But again,
don't think you're that rich. I could be wrong, of course.
You know, when I got into model trains, it was pick a size, pick a location, and pick an era to keep you from going crazy. I went crazy, but I've stuck to size. Well, technically, I didn't even stick to size because now I have 00. So I have O, I have HO and 00, but they're kind of a little bit the same.
Hey, Lindy, if you're still in here, that house you liked on Glansman is back for sale. I think you're settled. I'm not suggesting anything. Outside running track is a 5-inch gauge
HST.
Cool.
Well, hello, Dave from Scott Rails. No, my friend.
That's cool.
My former colleague, Rio Kitamura, that I taught with for 20 years before I retired.
Right.
More than 20 years, I think.
I don't remember when he came in.
I don't remember when he came in. He didn't come in right away, so maybe 15 years. Anyhow, I taught with Rio for a long time. And Rio has, I think, 7 1/4 inch ride-upon train around his house. He had to get a special dispensation from his homeowners association because he lives in one of those neighborhoods with homeowner associations.
Right. Put a train in his backyard, yeah.
And I helped him solve a problem when he was building it. I didn't actually build anything for him, but he brought a couple of problems in when he was trying to build it. I was like, Anthony, how do I get this over my driveway? And because I wanted to encircle the house. And okay, well, you can design it like this and have it as a lift out section and use these types because of this gauge and size. You can use this sort of slider pipe on it that acts as a conduit that locks the track into place when the trains are running over it.
Left cam? Oh, okay.
Left cam looks like Joyce was wearing checkered leggings.
Yeah, because the picture is, your flag is underneath.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the blue-white.
Yeah.
And you always have to say it that way. It's blue-white. It's not white-blue. It's blue-white of Bavaria. The Bavarians, they're Bavarians first, Germans second.
Yeah.
Actually, they're Bavarians first and Bavarians second. Probably Bavarians third and then German. And then they're Bavarians again.
What are they first?
They're Bavarians first. Then they're Bavarians second. And then they're Bavarians third. And then they're German. And then they're Bavarians again. They only grudgingly admit they're Germans.
Oh my.
You go anywhere else in Germany and you mention Bavaria and the Germans roll their eyes. Them.
That's true. We've seen that. Oh, then.
I remember the first time I was using this one textbook, and some of the German students we were doing the exchange program with had come to Toledo, and they were looking at the textbooks. They're like, "Oh, this was done by Bavarians." And the dismissal.
Oh, for sure.
The dismissal. And I've got some Germans that do the same thing. They're like, "Oh, Duolingo." Bavarians do that one. Yes, they do make good beer.
Agreed. Although we've got good beer all the way through Germany, so we were finding some good northern beers.
Oh, we found a lot of good beers, except in Denmark. We actually found 2 Danish beers that were really, really good.
We did find some good beer.
We found a couple of Danish beers that were really, really good.
John's
it's just Tuborg is okay, and Carlsberg. As I admitted 2 weeks ago, I had to publicly admit, after the first 2 times I had Carlsberg and they were so god awful. While we were in Denmark, we actually had a couple of Carlsbergs that were okay. Not great, not even good, but okay. Not bad. So I now have to rank Carlsberg a little bit higher. But sadly, I'll still say there are some American beers I'd drink before I'd drink a Carlsberg. That's how bad Carlsberg is compared to most. Because there is no other European beer that I would put below an American beer.
Oh, yeah, true. I mean, you found Italian beer you liked.
I have found a couple of Italian beers.
He was a little gobsmacked. He's like, he ordered the beer. And he thought, I think Italian. How could this be any good? He's
Italians.
Like, this is.
I think of Italians for various red wines. I think of Italian. Even when Italians make white wine, I'm like,
Carlsberg. Oh, no, we'd rather have a Scotch.
We'd rather have a Scotch than a Carlsberg. Then again, I'd rather have a Scotch than a Pepsi.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a Scotch than a Fanta Orange. Scotch was good.
It was good. It is good.
But, we got a house brew in Rostock. That's a local German beer in the Rostock area. It's H&O.
You don't drink beer, Jean. What's your chanting?
Yeah, you don't even drink beer, Jean.
It's just your Danish pride that was wounded. Oh
no, I did not like smoked beer.
Yeah, smoked beer in Bamberg, and
we had the original smoked beer. We had a friend, and then the guy that we were that was hosting us in Bamberg, who owned the apartment we were staying in. He said, "Well, these are the originals. If you're gonna have a smoked beer, you go to here. It's the original smoked beer." No, never again.
Oh, it was
Rauch beer. I will never have another Rauch beer. It was awful.
It tasted like smoke. And I tried 2
different brands.
But apparently smoke and beer don't really go together. Cheese is okay, not beer.
I love your darkest brown beers.
I took a sip of it. It was almost spit it out.
I love your darkest brown
was that
beers
awful?
To your palest ales.
Yep.
But Rauch beer, absolutely not. And also
he
Guinness.
Does the Weiss beer, which is the wheat beer. I don't like that either.
I don't like
But
Guinness.
he likes it.
I like wheat beers, Hefeweizen. There are some that I don't like.
Right.
Where they're just like, it's not good. But I do like Weiss beer and Hefeweizen.
Mexican Chango? Wow.
Yeah, alt beer.
Who wants an old beer?
No, I do not like Mexican beers. I don't like Corona. I don't like any of them.
I was gonna say,
and beer at room temperature. Oh, disgusting.
Yeah, that
beer needs to be a little cool.
It's too chilled.
But I've had a lot of various British beers and ales and
your Nightjet sure looks sweet.
And some were good, some were not. But I know some British guys that sneer at continental beers because they call it carbonated and fizzy beers and stuff. And it's like, I prefer that over the non-fizzy stuff. good beer
it
and good beer
British?
status are hugely
Yeah, say
different.
right out of the frickin' that was sitting on top of the bar.
All the UK beers I've had, which is not a lot,
Yeah.
I've never had one that I went, wow, that's really good. I've had some that
small barrel. Thank you.
like Carlington.
Oh, that would be cool.
Carling, not Carlington, Carling.
Carling. Yeah.
Carling was good.
Yeah.
It wasn't great, but it was good.
Yeah, it was.
The best beer I had when I was in the UK
ordering.
was an Italian beer, Gran Preserva.
Australian Pacific Ale style is a hoppy wheat beer. What were we drinking in
Oh
Australia?
my God, we need Artie to wake up.
Yeah, we do.
We need Artie to wake up.
Well, Artie's in.
We had 3 different
Where
Aussie
is Artie?
beers, and we liked it. Well, he went to bed because he's getting up early. He's got a train to Serbia.
Gotcha. Okay. So
well, he's in Serbia. He's got an early train to Belgrade.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I forget what the.
Chris, if it's free, I'll drink anything.
And I don't drink a lot of beer. You know, I'm sitting here talking like I drink a lot of beer.
Yeah.
I don't. I drink more beer the month I'm in Germany than I do the rest of the year combined.
Absolutely.
I drink more beer. And I probably drank more beer in Germany this trip than most trips.
Yeah. Yeah, we were definitely exploring.
Well, just everywhere we went, it's like, oh, here's another local beer. Let's try it.
2 pints? Firkin, that's a new word for me today.
2 pin. Is it 2 pin? 2 pints?
2 pins, 2 pints. Oh, you're more a
Yeah, see,
bourbon
I
now.
don't drink
Okay.
hard liquor. The hardest stuff I drink, other than if I can get Serbian moonshine called Ulishka.
That's good shit.
Well, only if it's the real, the homebrew stuff.
From the one
The stuff in the bottle sold in the stores
was not real good. Yeah.
But I drink peach brandy.
Gotcha.
And I don't even like most brandies, but there is a peach brandy from a guy on the Rhine River, Stefan.
Yep.
Stefan's Wine Paradise in St. Gore, Germany. His peach brandy is amazing. My favorite quote, and I've told the story many times, was my late friend Heinz. He and his wife were very well cultured and know their liqueurs and all their alcohols and that. They weren't snobby, but they could hide amongst the snobs.
Yeah, doesn't that figure?
But
we were getting it in Germany, but they're gone.
We bought them. We've been bragging about this stuff, so we bought them a small bottle and gave it to them as a gift. And they broke it out. They broke it out, and they got the proper brandy glasses, and they poured it out, and they went through the whole thing, smelling it and holding it up to the light.
43 pints. 2 pins is a firkin, just the right size to the bar top.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, all right. You're a brewer. We didn't know that. Okay.
So
good for you. My brother was doing that for a little bit.
Anyhow, Heinz went through all that, and then he and his wife.
What a random number.
Yeah.
86
he and his wife tasted it and did the whole thing, like moving it to the front of the mouth, side of the mouth.
Oh yeah.
And we're just waiting for them to go. Oh, it's common.
Yeah. Right. Yes.
And
cheap.
Their eyes just widened a bit. And I'm like, okay, here it comes.
Right.
And he just Heinz looked at his wife, Anka, and he said, "Gefährlich gut." And I started laughing. I think that's the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
Dangerously good.
Yeah, because it's very sweet.
It is tasty. And you could almost call it like your favorite kid's drink. But it's potent. You drink 4 or 5 small glasses of it, and you're feeling it.
Yeah, you sure are.
And I love that. And we bought them they made some chocolates that had the peach brandy flavoring in it. We gave them a small box. Anka had it gone in 2 days.
Yeah.
And she jokingly sat down and says, "I'm afraid I ate all of those."
Yeah, she did.
It's like, really? She says, they were very good. and I think I have a bit of a headache.
Yeah. Yeah, max, Great Northern max velocity is on, I just lost his name. Ryan Hall.
Yeah, max velocity.
So he connects his stream to Ryan Hall. Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
So it was, it was.
Weather nerd too, huh?
So I still have 2.5 bottles of it up in my kitchen. We didn't even go there this year because we could have gone down to Sackor. It's only 20 minutes south of Copeland. We just didn't need more.
To drink it more often, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I share it with my sister, but
one of us.
That all changed.
One of us now has all those medicines you're not supposed to take alcohol with.
Yeah. Gotcha. Me too.
Yeah, Joyce, our brother-in-law, Scott, is a massive weather nerd.
Yep.
When he would come into town, he was younger. He brought charts. He would chart everything.
Oh,
he
still charts.
Oh, I've never seen him break it out.
Yeah, you don't see him. But when you would have seen him if he stayed here.
Okay.
But he might have just stayed in his room and done it there though.
Right.
He doesn't have it out like he used to.
He's huge. Joyce has become one. Joyce has always been into weather, but in the last few years, it's really where now she watches Ryan Hall, and anytime there's a potential storm.
I do not watch Ryan Hall every time there's a potential storm. Our weather has been so crazy.
Pecos Hank.
Yeah, Pecos Hank is fun.
You love Pecos Hank, which I actually discovered.
He's a tornado chaser.
He's a storm chaser.
Right, I know what you mean.
I think Joyce thinks that.
Mm-hmm.
I think early on I told Joyce that she probably should go back and get a meteorology degree.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah.
At the time, she never thought of it, but boy, once she got into weather, it was like she's into it. She knows it. She gets it.
Okay, now I know what those are. I'll probably forget them, but I'll remember it. Huh.
Wait a minute. I'll probably forget them, but I'll remember them.
I'll forget what they are, but I'll remember that they stand for units of measure.
Okay, then.
Yeah. Oh, he is. Yeah. Anytime he sees a lizard or a snake or anything like that in the road, he stops and picks it up and puts it on the side. He's a slow guy.
Well, he's been teaching, so he hasn't been chasing as much.
Right.
He's been teaching, so he hasn't been chasing.
Yeah, did you see when he went down to the South America to chase? I don't think they found anything, but it sure was interesting.
Stop. There we go. So anyhow,
it's 6
o'clock.
o'clock.
It is 6 o'clock.
It is.
The time has come. Had a very rough start, and it's been a rough day, and I had a rough start, which did not.
Daisy says, "I hope you all have hit the like button. If you haven't, please do so." Cool.
Joyce, just for my benefit, which Daisy was that? Was that Gunslinger Daisy or Little Beaver?
No, well.
Which one was it?
Little Beaver.
Ooh. Little Beaver. Gotta love them all.
Indeed.
All right, everybody, it is 6 o'clock.
Yep.
That is another 3 hours come and gone in the blink of an eye, talking about time distortion and space-time.
Swearing at the trains and
blah, blah, blah. So we want to thank you all who joined, all of you who watch on replay, who come in, all of you who watch in the background. Colin, we haven't seen you in for a while, Sir Colin. Hope you're well.
It's great to see you.
All the Marks.
Right.
Any of the Andys that didn't make it in.
Yeah, or Andrews, yeah.
Andys and Andrews, and anybody else that watches, as well as all of you who can make it in when we're here.
Marks, Christophers, we got a lot of those.
A lot of Christophers and Chris's. Yeah,
yep.
Got a lot of them. But just one Joyce.
Yeah.
And you're only here for an hour.
Yep.
So we want to thank you. We will be here same bat time, same bat channel.
Yep.
And on that note, we're going to say, Auf Wiedersehen.
Choose.
And happy trades. Take care,
Bye.
everybody. We'll see you.